Question 17 makes use of your three trigonometrical ratios: sine theta, cos theta and tan theta. These are clearly marked on your formula sheet. Before you tackle this question, or the ones that I've put down on your book to do, make sure that you're able to peg out which is the opposite side, the hypotenuse and the adjacent, then choose the relevant trig ratio. So in A, the opposite and hypotenuse come into play. In C, even though we've turned the triangle around, the adjacent and hypotenuse come into play. Even though M has been turned around, it's the cos ratio. And lastly, in P, the sine ratio again. Now, working these through, you'll find you'll have to make use of two different strategies. In 17a, sine theta is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. I don't know the adjacent side, so I'm not going to make use of it. So sine of 32 is equal to x over 12. Now when you tackle that on your calculator, I've just got a scientific calculator here, make sure that when you're using your calculator, the d or the degree sign is on. And working that through, just showing you on this little calculator, so 12 times sine 32 equals. You'll notice the calculator makes use of some brackets. You can close that bracket or by default. One thing you've got to avoid is the following. So doing that gives your calculator a little bit of indigestion. So when you're multiplying, it pays to have your number first and the sine, cos or tan second. Moving on to C. Once again, when you do this problem, it's cos theta or cos 40 is equal to x over 32. The x being on top, when you do the transposition, 32 times cos 40. Now on the calculator, I end up with 24.51 centimetres. Once again, do not do the following. Calculator does not like it. There's no way you can have a negative length there. Moving on to E, tan of 34 is x divided by 5.7. The transposing that happens there, 5.7 times tan 34, gives me the 3.84. When we look at G, you'll notice that when I do that, cos of 28 is equal to 147 over the hypotenuse x. Now in this case, I do a double transposition. That goes over to this side, the cos 28 moves over the other side's division. When the hypotenuse is on the bottom, the denominator I should say, we do a division. So x is 147 divided by cos of 28. Notice here how we like to keep you on your toes as maths teachers. In the next instance, when it comes to I, we're back to sine of 46 is equal to x, or the opposite, divided by the hypotenuse. So a multiplication through. When it comes to k though, sine of 45 is equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse, a double transposition. In other words, the x goes to the top, the sine 45 to the bottom, we have a division, giving me 10.18. In a similar way, when we come to M, cos 41 is equal to x over 7.8, so we have to think a little bit differently again, transposing, multiplying through on this instance. And lastly for P, sine of 39 is equal to 11 over x. So the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. A double transposition was necessary there in order to get the answer of 17.48.